Are we ready and on by?
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I welcome you guys on Channel 52 with Amber. And today we are doing a special episode on our acting second ward councilman. And this is in terms of, welcoming him in the house. So thank you, everyone. And I have a panel full of people with me. And I will start with our mayor, who doesn't need an introduction, our dear Mayor Andre Saya. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Commissioner.
What's up, man? How are you guys?
I just saw Nod Shah. Did he bring a birthday cake with him?
And the second person I am going to introduce is Elisa Means, the Council Vice President of City of Patterson, and congratulations again on your new victory.
Thank you. Hi, Commissioner Amber, and to all the amazing people on the mayor, councilman times two, and to our commissioners. I'm excited to be on today's show.
Thank you. The third person I'm going to invite and introduce is Anand Shah, the Prospect Park Councilman, and I'm really happy to have you because you went through the recovery, and it's good to see you. Okay, we're gonna move ahead. And the fourth person I'm introducing is Firdaus Hussain, Deputy Mayor of Patterson. Thanks for joining us today and introducing the youth.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks. And Azi Alam, State Commissioner, another youth person, which I really have very good time in class. Thank you for joining us today.
The pleasure is mine to be part of such a prestigious group. So happy to be here.
Thank you.
You make it prestigious, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Last but not the least, the man of the hour, Gilman Chaudhary, the acting second ward councilman. Congratulations and thanks for joining us today in your busy hours.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. It's great to see nothing but friends here on the screen, so it's great.
So the first question, of course, is going to go to the mayor, and I'm going to ask that, I always respect your decisions and everything. What was the most thing that you have seen in Gilman that you said that that's the right person for this opportunity, this time frame transition?
I best describe Gilman as a paragon of civic virtue. He will represent our city with honesty, intelligence, and integrity. And our goal, and I can speak for our Vice President, Dr. Lisa Mims, our goal is to give Patterson the government it deserves. And I believe that Gilman is the embodiment of good governance. And he understands that. I mean, he already has hit the ground running. He voted on the reversion issue as far as our calendar year is concerned. He also supported the bond issue to refinance our debt in Patterson. And we have another big vote, as you can see behind me, as Hinchcliffe stated, but I'm sure we'll elaborate on that later. But Gilman is a real role model. He has had a positive impact on every student that he's interacted with, and it's all authentic. And he's a family man. There's a lot to be said about that. He's a loving husband and a doting father. So Gilman is a net gain on the Patterson Municipal Council.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more because, me being an educator, I completely understand. And you being an educator, I know that that's the mission behind. And, he is a voice of youth. He has been a counselor from heart for all these students that he has been helping for years. And especially he being attending the school and going through the same system, he can speak more, feel it with them at the same time. So I absolutely agree with you. I'm going to take the next question from Lisa. I know that you have a special love towards, and I see your posts all the time. Patterson works better together. And I love your vision that you always wanted to work together. And so my question to you is that economic development in the relationship with parks, and I know you have compassion towards parks. So how can we make it better, and who can be better explaining this, being a Pattersonian itself and have such a compassion towards it?
Mayor, you should take this one.
Well, the vice president is the chairwoman of the Economic Development Committee. And already, I mean, she vetted Hinchliffe Stadium, well, at least the aspect of what we want to do with affordable housing for senior citizens. She championed the issue of bringing back Bear Trap Park, and we should be cutting the ribbon on that relatively soon. We have a vision for all parks in Patterson. As a matter of fact, the VP went down to Chattanooga, Tennessee to learn more about what they are doing to improve their parks. Because quite frankly, after we defeat this pandemic, we're going to really have to ramp up what we can do for recreation for our youth, because they're cloistered in their homes. They want to get out. And what better way than to have them enjoy some of the parks in Patterson, whether it's Lou Costello Park, where we believe, we know that that's going to be the first park of its kind that will accommodate children with autism. And the reason why we chose that park to be the first to accommodate children with special needs is because it is within a stone's throw away of School 2, which has a program for the youth who are on the spectrum. So quite frankly, we have a bold vision. The Great Falls, the city council, led by Councilwoman, Council Vice President, Dr. Lisa Mims, they approved the world-class visitor center that we want to build there to enhance the image of the Great Falls and enhance the economic draw that it could become, because we're hoping that it'll have a ripple effect, and you'll have restaurants, retail outlets, souvenir stores strewn throughout the Great Falls district. We have a very ambitious vision like our founding father, Alexander Hamilton. We see restoring Hinchliffe Stadium as the right thing to do right now, considering what's happening in our country relative to race relations. And if we can resurrect a stadium that was the embodiment of the civil rights revolution, when African Americans were excluded from playing in Major League Baseball, they had a home at Hinchliffe. They played in Patterson. So I want to thank the VP for championing that, and the other council members for supporting the transformational project. Actually, I'm going to call it a legacy project, because that's what we're going to leave for our children. Any child that goes to School 5, any student that peers outside his or her window at the school, what they see now is a symbol of decay and decline. But once we put the shovels in the ground, they're going to see a symbol of a city on the rise.
Thank you. You actually took all my 4 questions, Mayor.
Oh, no, come on.
Awesome. In one question, you responded all the answers.
Well, in all fairness, I just had an espresso, so I'm highly caffeinated at the moment.
No, God bless you with your energy and power, and making.
God bless you.
Yes.
And by the way, I just received word, Commissioner, please, this just in, Donald Trump has tweeted about Patterson again. He just can't get enough of us.
I hate to ask what has he tweeted. I am reluctant to ask what is the tweet this time.
I believe it's about voter fraud again.
I thought he was congratulating Councilwoman Lisa Mims on being the president.
Okay.
That too. At least he spelled Mims with 2 M's and Patterson with 2 T's.
No, but going back to Lisa Mims, I always, read your posts, and you already put that Patterson schools are offering counseling, and you give specific numbers as well. And so officers are also offering counseling, and you put your name, the specific number for people to call, which is, such a great tip. So please, I want to hear from you in your words, how can we bring everything together as you're working towards so many things at the same time?
So great question, Commissioner Amber. I think that I always say we're better together. If we're going to get it done, it's going to take all hands on deck. It's not an I thing, it's a we. We have to do it locally, through the state, the county, partner with Prospect Park, Clifton, Wayne, so many places, looking at best practices that we can model and try to transform or configure how they can fit into Patterson. There are so many dynamics of great things that are on the horizon that we just have to work together and come together with the school district. As you know, I adopted schools back in 2008. And then I worked in the school district, and I worked with our newly appointed councilman of the 2nd Ward, Gilman Chowdhury. I had the opportunity to see the amazing brilliancy of this young, vibrant leader firsthand, up close and personal with robotics, kinetics, some stuff I couldn't even pronounce. He was doing it, helping our young people get into Ivy League schools. And he, him being there, he watched me in action. I'm the school board, right? Yelling, banging on desks. He saw all of that, right? And so now to be the councilwoman at large for all of the wards, right? And even his councilwoman for the second ward. So it's just exciting. I know the mayor alluded to the parks. I brought the recommendation to the administration on the revitalization and to put forth a master parks plan for all the parks in the city. I remember when I was campaigning, I stopped at the recreation office to fill out an application for this yearly event I do called Community Day at the Falls. And I looked on the board and there was this brown, it was a paper supposed to be white, but it was brown because it was just old. And it was all the list of the parks. So I asked them, could I make a copy? And it was so brittle that they said, just bring it back. So I put it in like a plastic folder just to keep it. And that's when I learned how many parks there were in the city. And I took the time to go to every one of the parks. And what I saw just broke my heart. So when I came to the council, I recommended it to the administration. I want to thank the mayor and the administration for taking the recommendation, and we've gotten a vision plan now. We went to Chattanooga. We have parks that are being revitalized. We have Friends of Patterson Parks so that we can do not-for-profit fundraising and partnerships. We have the Parks and Recreation Committee that's in place. I know the constables are now working in the parks, and we know that our recreation funding is limited, right? We have a very low number going there. So I think we have to be forward thinking and more creative on how do we develop or build recreational opportunities for the community. And we have to talk to every ethnicity, right? One of the things I learned is that we have to learn what every culture likes. When I was campaigning, I went to many homes. I had to learn how to take my shoes off. So now I learn to take socks in my shoes, right? When I walk in the door, as soon as I've eaten, it's delicious. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know I can tell you I want that right there, right? And so many things. I met so many wonderful people. So many of you are on now that I've met through that process of this walk. And it's just amazing. We can't do it by ourselves. We have probably over 70 ethnicities in the great city of Patterson. And so if we're going to do it, it can't be in isolation of one ethnic group. It has to be a partnership that we work together, build relationships. I love how Deputy Mayor Perdue says it, base maintenance and net gain. I love that because it's so true. Like, you have I'm African American, but I have amazing friends across the spectrum. I have so many amazing friends that I've learned, and we talk all the time. I reach out to Councilman Shaw. He was the president. I used to call him like, Councilman Shaw, like I need, and he answer, and then we laugh and we talk, and different ones. Ozzy going into the platter, getting my salads, and just so I could go on and on. But this is how we get it done, right? Because if as a Christmas tree, I'm going to end on this as a Christmas tree. One of the things I learned year after year, no matter how many beautiful lights I bought the year before, if I don't touch the string of lights, I'm going to try to plug it up and the tree won't be as bright because some of the light bulbs are not working. So either we're going to replace the bulbs on the tree or you got to replace the whole string of lights. And I believe each one of us represent the light that lights up the entire city of Patterson or the state of New Jersey or this world. And if one of us is not right or something is off, we have to take the time to self-evaluate ourselves before we do it for others, self-evaluate ourselves, and then find out what can we work on, how can we work together to get it done. So that's just, I believe we're better together, and I believe we're going to get there.
Absolutely, you said it in such a beautiful way, and it, as you said, it will take a village to save our kids, and let's do it together. And the analogy of bringing lights, that was so beautiful. So thank you. So Councilman Anand Shah, I want to hear from you. How are you feeling physically?
Yes.
And it's great to see you, and your comments about Gilman Chaudhry.
Sure. Greetings, first and foremost, to the elders, Salam Alaikum, that everyone that has tuned in, to our elders, to our brothers and sisters, and greetings to all. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on Channel 52. Thank you, Anand Bey, Commissioner Amber Huck, and as well as Farah Bobby for having me on the show today. Congratulating an awesome man which I know for some time Councilman Gilman Chowdhury. First and foremost, as some of you have known or seen, I was hospitalized a couple weeks ago. I know each and every one of you have reached out to me personally, either via text, email, or on Facebook, and the power of prayers. We had a great team of doctors and nurses. It was a very scary moment with the heart condition, but I am on the road to recovery. The doctors have discharged me from the hospital, and the powers and the prayers from each and every one of you and your unwavering support is greatly, greatly appreciated. That is what helped me lift up, and also obviously with God's willing. So I'm actually out of the hospital. I'm on the road to recovery and doing a lot better. And thank God they went inside my heart, and actually the heart is looking good and working good. And it comes down to basically dehydration and not enough sodium in your body. So obviously with this heat waves and hot weather, I recommend to each and every one of you, I'm not a medical expert, a medical doctor, but please stay hydrated as much as you can with Gatorade, Powerade, Pedialyte, or some kind of water and some kind of sodium, what I understand from the medical experts. But I'm doing very well now. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you. It was a very scary moment, man. Let me tell you something real quick before I go to Councilman Gilman Chowdhury. When the doctors and the nurses come in the hospital and tell you, hey, we need your living will on file just in case you're not going to be here. If you don't make it, we need to scan it to our report. Would you like to donate your organs if you're not here no more? I said, absolutely. So it's a very scary moment when your cardiologist specialist and the heart surgeon, everyone comes in there because you don't know what you're going to go. I don't know if I'm going to wake up the next day. So again, life is very short, and that's something I always preach about. So thank you to each and every one of you. Going to our newest appointed, my dear friend and colleague, now I can call my colleague, Councilman Gilman Chowdhury. It's a great appointment that the council and the mayor has picked. Someone, even forget about even him being the councilman at this moment, even before he became a councilman, like Mayor Saya and Council Vice President Mims had mentioned already how much energetic he has in the community, and not only in the second ward, in the whole entire city of Patterson, and above and beyond, with or without politics. He's always a phone call away. Any way he can help a student, a kid, anything with education related, anything with the help center, he's there a phone call away. I remember I came to his house a couple times. He invited me for some chai with you and your wife, if you remember, Councilman Chowdhury. You're young, you're motivated. It's a great appointment. I'm looking forward to working with you from Prosper Park. If there's any way I could be help and assist along with your colleagues in the mayor, I'm only a phone call away. But I'm very excited from my bottom of my heart that that they made the right choice. Council Vice President Mims for making that appointment in the bill, and the rest of the council. And I know you have a unanimous decision. You have a great support behind you. You have a great team. Mayor Saya with his knowledge and power, with Vice President Mims, with Deputy Mayor Firdaus Hussain, as well as Commissioner Azialam. And I know everyone working together will make Patterson better. And I always say, and as you've seen my post, the well-being of Patterson is the well-being of Prosper Park. So thank you for having me, and congratulations, Gilman Chowdhury, Councilman. Looking forward to working with you, and I know you're going to do wonderful things, and I know you're going to be there for the people's business.
Thank you so much, Councilman Anand Shah. Please take care of yourself. We want that heart pumping. Keep yourself hydrated.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So next question I'm going to ask Firdaus Hussain, the Deputy Mayor, as a young youth, and coming from the same ethnicity, what are your feelings and how do you feel? Please let us know.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to the show. As you all know, from the last couple of years, we saw members of the Bengali community participate more in local government. And I encourage everyone to continue to do so. That's the only way we could, get our voices heard. It's important that we put folks, individuals from our community who can empower everyone else, not just themselves, who basically represent all of us. In regards to the planning board, to the Park and Recreation Commission, every one of these positions, you can serve as a resource to the community. And not only, when I say the community, I'm not talking about only the Bengali community, but also the city of Patterson. So it gives residents a channel to get their voices heard through these individuals. So I just want to, again, thank the mayor for obviously, pushing for those folks to get involved. And next, I want to congratulate Gilman Chowdhury for being appointed the second ward councilman. For those of you who don't know, I actually went to college with Gilman, and throughout the years that I know him, he always been about self-service and never about self-service. He's too humble to say it, but I remember during COVID-19, he volunteered his time to be in John F. Kennedy High School. He risked his health, obviously, and we all know he has a wife and children, so he went out and did that, and that's, speaks volume, and, and the service he wants to do to the community. So him being a second ward councilman, I know that, he'll represent everyone, and, he'll definitely always listen to everyone, and, try to diffuse the situation that already exists in regards to, different folks, in the community who are not seeing eye to eye. So once again, I want to say welcome, Gilman Charity, to the council, from a resident perspective. And, I know you will do well, and, I'm definitely glad to work with you day to day. Thank you.
Thank you. Very welcome. So, Azi Alam, State Commissioner, I want to hear from you as you're the last youngest person here.
Well, assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's an honor to be here today with such a prestigious group. Happy to see you on Ansha, feeling better. Prayers to you and your family. Congratulations, Gilman Chaudhary. Speaking Gilman, incredible appointment. Right man for the job. And, Gilman is somebody we all look up to, and we look for you doing great work for our community. Now, speaking of Gilman, Gilman's roots are much, much deeper than what we have seen so far. He's still scratching the surface. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's take a step back, ladies and gentlemen. Gilman's father was actually a quintessential, iconic figure for a Bengali community. As far as I remember, he was a freedom fighter for 1971 that helped us succeed over Pakistan. So I personally look forward to Gilman, and witnessing Gilman great work for the entire city of Patterson. I'm excited. I'm a second ward resident. And those of you who don't know, I actually met Gilman in high school. It was robotics. He was the captain, and this is a gentleman he's a bread and butter of city of Patterson. Went to John F. Kennedy High School, went to serve our country, went to Montclair State, and here he is serving the community each and every day. So congratulations, great Gilman, and we look forward to witnessing your greatness.
Thank you, Azi. So now for the moment that we all are waiting for, Gilman, I personally am, very, very excited and happy because, I live in Ward 2 as well. And, I know you from a very long time. I see how you are with the kids. I have seen you in action, in school and outside in every way. So my excitement is so much that it doesn't even can come on the screen, right? But I, personally congratulate you. So the question is, how does it feel to be the second ward councilman?
Well, thank you. First off, let me just say that I'm truly not only honored to be here, but it's great seeing everyone. Just to listen a little bit, I am not to say that I'm teary, but I am deeply appreciative of the kind words spoken today. For Councilman Anat Shah, I'm really happy to see you as well. I'm pretty sure Mayor Krula wouldn't mind me saying, but you're the 10th councilman of Patterson. In the sense of, we see you, you're such a passionate fighter for your city. You have deep commitments and relationships here in Patterson as well. And there isn't a resident in Patterson that doesn't know you. And, not only do we honor you, but we also appreciate all the great work you're doing. Not only your businesses, but also your persona, your kindness and your compassion. I received the birthday cake as well from you, and countless residents around Passaic County have probably received the cake from you as well. And because you understand the human element, that politics aside, policy aside, it's the person on the ground level that deserves, even if it's a minute acknowledgement, but just to know that they're respected and treated with dignity. And for my council colleague and the mayor, and including my friends who are commissioners and everyone else here, I do have to say that, words can't explain exactly how I feel about being appointed to the second ward. I never really saw myself in politics. I never saw myself in elected office or whatnot. I viewed myself more as a person from behind the scenes to provide as much service and help to anyone. And now, at the crucial moment in the history of the city, from Alexander Hamilton sitting on viewing over the Great Falls to now, we have not only a chance to showcase the very best of what we have to offer, but to show our unity. And our unity spans far beyond ethnic lines. You don't have to say that it has to be a particular Bengali issue, an African-American issue, an Hispanic issue. You have to say that this is a human issue that we have to solve, and it's only going to take human compassion for us to get through. I respect deeply everyone in the council, and everyone has their own convictions that they have to live by. And I will never question anyone's conviction, nor will I question their wisdom, their knowledge base. But what I do see is an opportunity for us to come together in a collaborative function with proper, as necessary, with the proper opportunity for us to say what we believe is right and what we believe is wrong. But it's a chance for us to showcase to our children or the next generation that's going to take over that this is how a proper stance of government takes place. This is how we solve our issues together. And the road may seem very long. It may have potholes. It may have hills, trees blocking its way. But only through perseverance are we going to be able to make it. And for me to be in this position temporarily, and I want to keep on saying temporarily, I hope that even in the short blink of an eye of the city's history, I'll be able to provide some level of good, and that's really what I'm looking forward to.
That's why we love you.
So how did your family feel about the appointment?
Well, I can say it was a mixed bag. It was a combination of happiness, joy, and a certain level of anxiety. In all honesty, we have seen some difficulties, not only in just the second war, but in our communities regarding politics in itself. And I've always strived to tell individuals that we should be able to debate each other and not hate each other. We should be able to listen to everyone. I made it a point the last couple of days as well to listen to people from different sides of the spectrum, those that were in favor and those were against, and those that were in Patterson and out. In order to make the best possible decisions for anything, it's important for us to talk to everybody. And my family members were split in the sense that, is this something that you really want to pursue or something that you want to do? We had the mutual understanding that it was only going to be temporary. But again, in itself, I tell people that in the military you might die once, but in politics you can die many times. And so it's that notion that my family's a little afraid of. It's like, well, what do you mean dying? And I said, no, not literal death. It's more in a Shakespearean sense. But it was a long conversation. But what I'm happy about is that they knew that my heart wasn't in it for any particular sense of personal glory or long-term achievement for personal gain. It was about doing what I can to serve the city in its moment of difficulty, and then like Cincinnatus going back to his farm after everything's done.
Yeah. So I see such a ray of hope from you, and as this is a soldier coming out at the difficult time and ready to transition at any time. So I recognize that and I see that. So what books did you read to prepare for this position?
Well, the Patterson Code book, and I'm at page probably 77 so far, but I've been making it a point that I'm going to read 20 pages a day until I'm able to finish. Starting Thursday started. But that's just to understand the basic fundamental sense of how our ordinances work, to make sure that we're following Robert rules. Luckily enough, because of my school district experience, we do Robert rules of training 3 times a year for our PTO leaders. And we've always joked around that if you ever become an elected official, you'll know exactly by the rule book how it's supposed to happen. So it's hilarious that now I'm actually able, the teacher becomes a student now, and I'm like, hopefully I'm able to adhere to all that. But I love reading. I'm a bit of a nerd, as my wife can say, and as I said multiple times publicly, that as a nerd I was able to get a beauty queen, so I was able to trick my wife to marrying me. And I always say, like, oh, that's because I'm well read. I learned as much as I could on how to do that. But I'm a big believer in reading philosophy and history. My undergraduate degree was in history. Currently, I'm getting my MBA now, but it was my love of history that gives me a real sense about looking at it from different cultures, time periods, civilizations, empires, and republics, and how you can make government better for the people. And you've seen the worst of our society and the best of our society throughout history. I am a true admirer of Stoic philosophy from Marcus Aurelius, who was the philosopher king, and he was always concerned about being just. He was always concerned about doing the right thing. And me reading Meditations, which is his personal diary that turned to a book multiple times, and every time when you read it, you come up with a different perspective based on how the older you're getting. So when I read that as a teenager, I had a different understanding when I read that as a college student, as a worker, and as an adult, and now as a father. to learn how to be just, to be right, to do the thing that sometimes you don't want to do, but you know it's the right thing to do. And those are the constant battles that internally we have. And it's because of the fact that I have a library of books in my house. I always say that, you know, your bookshelf has to be bigger than your TV. And, you know, whenever I'm in doubt, whenever I feel as if, well, what answers can I find? I just flip through some of the books, and you'll see the spines of the books all bended over because I've sometimes read the same chapter over and over again to get a better understanding. But I really found that if there's one peace of mind where I can find it's building myself into books, reading. It's as if you're speaking directly to the authors. And some of these individuals, from Sophocles, Marcus Aurelius, even Niccolo Machiavelli, is as if you're talking directly to them to find out their inner workings of how they believe a society, a government, a council should be. So those are some of my influential things. I wouldn't say that I would apply The Art of War to this. I would apply more of my philosophy books, but every book has its gifts that it can get, and as long as you read it properly within the context and adapt it to what your scenario is now, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And speaking of literacy, we really need more in Patterson. And I know
the mayor's wife, lady,
yes, the Patterson Reed, she's doing an amazing job, and that's the beauty of having educationalists on the on the board, that they can make the change, they can bring the right people around, and and I see her coming around, and I'm looking forward. It's coming pretty soon. So I do want to ask the question that I wanted to ask Mayor previously, that what will Great Falls Vision Center drive economical growth?
So we have one of the most renowned real estate developers in the state who's going to lead the project. That's DevCo, Chris Palladino, and the council recently acted on that measure. And what it'll call for is what we deserve, something that pays tribute to our past and accentuates the beauty of the falls and turns it into a top-notch tourist destination. The National Park Service has estimated that 300,000 people visited the falls last year. Our goal is to get 1 million people to come to Patterson, visit the falls, go to the visitor center, go to Hinchliffe Stadium, shop, eat, and spend money in the city of Patterson. Purchase souvenirs, Silk City souvenirs. And so we see that it could be the shot in the arm that we need economically here at Patterson, because I said that's where the city was born, Great Falls, and that's where our city will be reborn. If there's going to be a renaissance in Patterson, it's going to emanate from the symbol of our city, the Great Falls.
Awesome. And the Hinchliffe Stadium, park also is part of it, or how you are implying another new?
Okay. Actually, Hinchliffe Stadium is the only ballpark within a national park in the United States of America. So it holds that distinction. And it was opened on July 8th, 1932, during the Great Depression. It was Mayor John V. Hinchliffe. And quickly, 1933, it became the home of the New York Black Yankees when they were not allowed to play in Major League Baseball. And the New York Cubans played there as well. And also, it hosted the equivalent of the World Series for the Negro Leagues in 1933 at Hinchliffe Stadium. So it is of historic significance. There's a tremendous amount of value there. There's only actually one other ballpark in the country that is still standing with a grandstand that hosted Negro League games, and that's in Birmingham, Alabama, Rickwood Field, which I visited with my wife in 2009, and we drew inspiration as to why we need to resurrect this historic treasure, which will send a message to all Americans that it is a major part of our history, that what helped integrate America was professional sports, and professional sports was played on that field. And as the VP will tell you, we're going to have an exhibit paying tribute, paying homage to all those that played on the field. And there are actually other components, like I stated before, affordable housing for senior citizens and a child care component on the ground level. Not to mention a 314-car garage.
Awesome childcare. It's extremely important for people to be able to have childcare, to do their jobs, and that's one of the item which is most of the time has been missed. So I personally thank you for thinking of that, and incorporating that in it. Thank you. So Gilman, I have we are coming very close to the time, and I want to be very timely and respectful of all of you guys. My last question with you is, what message do you have to the youth about serving government, and that's it.
Well, thank you. Again, I have to say that this is a really excellent opportunity for us all to speak and to give our views about any particular subject. And I'm really thankful to be among a bunch of really passionate individuals that are serving their community in more than one ways. I've learned on my end, just watching everyone throughout the years, and the passion, the integrity shown is something that, again, when it comes down to that particular question you ask, how can our youth serve better? All you have to do is just watch all the elected officials, all the community members we have in the city. I haven't met one person so far as an activist, community members, or elected official that hasn't done all they can because they believe they have a deep-seated passion to do what is right. And if there's anything our students or our youth can really think about is this: there's honor in serving your community. You don't need an elected position to do so, but there is honor regardless of that. From the woman that I've met before that makes food for homeless people throughout her church, to the individual that goes out day to day to give out items, sanitation packs to the homeless, to the mom that may make extra meals for their neighbors because they know that their kids are having trouble, to the teacher that stays after school to provide extra additional tutoring, to the pastor that goes home to home because they know the suffering the individuals are going through. There are passionate people in all levels of the city of Paterson. So to the youth, you don't have to be, even though it's great to say you can be the mayor, you can be the council vice president, you can be a freeholder, or a governor, or president someday. There is power in even the most smallest station in life, because you can make a difference regardless of who you are and what you came from or where you came from. There isn't anything I can say other than it's important to have a distinct understanding between the choices we make between right and wrong, that even the loudest among us has the right to be listened to, and that it's important for us that we never go past the line of saying that if I disagree with you, I hate you. Because we lose not only the opportunity to be enlightened, we lose a sense of humanity. We have a responsibility, and I will say this to everyone. You have a responsibility to debate for enlightenment, not to debate to hurt. And if the venom that comes out of your mouth is to hurt individuals instead of helping them see why they may be incorrect about something, then that's the path that we have to take. And for the children of Paterson, for the young adults, for the future leaders, the choices you make will have an impact. The choices the adults that are in power now make will have an impact. A lot of the choices that are being made will affect a generation of children not born. So we have an added responsibility for one age of living individuals to make the right choices so the next generation that comes up will live in a foundation that's much better than it is now. And there's a Greek proverb, and I've told this to the mayor and the deputy mayor a couple times, that a society grows great when old men plant trees knowing they will never enjoy the shade. Because at the end of the day, we're building something for the children. And whatever sacrifices, whatever pain, whatever suffering we have to go through for them, it's all worth it. Because at the end of the day, it's their world that we're building, not ours.
Absolutely right. And again, I can't say more enough that how much hope do I see in you in this transition. I was not planning to take any questions because we were doing timely, but there's a special request, Mayor, for you. This is a question for you. The question is from Hasina Patan. I have a question for Channel 52 as well as Amber. The concern or the themes of your program. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's a comment, but I thought there was a question. The question is, good evening to Mayor. Can you please bring that question on the screen? That was the question earlier. Comparing to the other boundaries cities, the city of Paterson has a problem with population and unclean streets. In this pandemic situation, it is mandatory for us to need more cleanliness. As a mayor, do you have any planning for clean Paterson, especially Union Ave and Wayne Ave and Second Ward? Sorry for the irregular questions. Go ahead.
All right, if I may. So that is actually a very timely and topical question because we're relaunching our Urban Enterprise Zone Clean Commercial Corridors program. In fact, we're accepting applications for employment. The deadline is August 5th. So if anyone's interested in working as a part of this seasonal and temporary program, then they should submit it by 4:30 on August 5th. And we've done it in the past where we clean commercial corridors, and Union Avenue happens to be one of those areas. And in the future, even if it's not Councilman Chowdhury, I'd like to see a councilman champion along with other council people, Union Avenue becoming a special improvement district. We've done it on 21st Avenue. We have one in downtown Patterson, and we also have one in Bunker Hill. So it would make sense since Bangladesh Boulevard is a thriving business. Well, it will be again a thriving business district once we reopen our entire economy. And I feel badly for some of those businesses that have been suffering, but quite frankly, I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year and we'll be distributing it. I mean, because a vaccine doesn't save lives, vaccination does. So we have to have a distribution plan. So yes, that is our goal for cleanliness. And Commissioner, if I may, I know this Friday is Eid. So for those that observe, I want to wish you all an Eid Mubarak. I've worked with the deputy mayor to make sure that we made Pennington Park available for prayer, and it will happen. Let's just make sure that they are practicing COVID-19 guidelines, or should I say protective measures, wearing masks, distancing themselves. And as the deputy mayor has assured me, there will be temperature checks for all those who worship. Yes, there. See, VP Mims is demonstrating.
Yeah,
so Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak, my friends.
I just want to add to that. So this Friday, we'll have prayers at Pennington Park. So for those of you who attend, make sure you keep 6 feet apart, bring masks, bring your own prayer mats. And we ask for folks who are in charge of the organization to have temperature screening gear there. But just keep in mind, bring your own mask, bring face mask, and keep 6 feet apart. So we can all, come safe and leave safe. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor, for taking that, unplanned questions, but it actually was very timely, and it actually brings back to our own responsibility as a Bangladeshi nation to keep our own city clean. Though we have a part to play in that, we cannot just expect everything from the government, and so we have to do this together. I'm going to take back where Councilwoman Lisa Mean says that together we can do it better, and I believe in that personally. So we have to do this together. Eid is coming. We all are going to do it, keeping safe distance, masks, and together, do everything together. So in last few words, if anyone has comments, Gilman Chaudhry, you want to give last messages for everyone? I'm going to say, so let's start with the mayor, and then we're going to go to councilwomen and, Gilman Chaudhry and Firdaus Hassan and, Councilman Anand Shah.
Commissioner Alam said that this was a prestigious group. It is indeed an august panel, and that doesn't include me. I'm talking about the caliber of individuals that are participating here, and particularly Anand Shah. He's a good friend with a good heart. He's an authentic individual, and he's the genuine article. And I'm encouraged to see that his health has improved and his hair has improved too. I like the new look there, Councilman. But I do want to say that it is going to take collaboration to advance the ambitious vision that we have here in the city. And Patterson is on the rise. I believe that with a lot of these projects that we're putting forward, within the next 2 years, people will reap the fruits of our labor today. So whether it is improving our parks or improving the Great Falls, restoring Hinchliffe Stadium, we believe that we will continue to push Patterson forward. But it is a total team effort, and I'm glad to have Councilman Chaudhry, VP Mims, and Deputy Mayor Firdaus Hussain on the team. And Commissioner Huck as well. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you. Inshallah. Thank you. Go ahead, Councilman Lisa Means.
And so this has been great, right? Every time I'm around the mayor, it almost reminds me of being at Eastside High School with Miss Principal Joe Clark, because every time he puts out a big word, I have to pull out my phone and look at it. So to that, but Gilman, welcome aboard. We've worked together for years. I know that you are going to do an outstanding job. And so here, I like acronyms, and I know Firdaus will appreciate this. And so Not only do I believe that you'll rock, I'm going to give you an acronym that I believe that will help you rock and be effective, even if it's temporary, as the councilman of the second ward. R, read everything. Read and research over and over and over again. O, open yourself up for criticism, to be held accountable, and also open yourself up to the creativity and the innovative ways that are inside of you. C, be compassionate for all of your residents, no matter who they are. If they call you, listen to them, hear them over, and if they have ideas, receive them. If you have some ways to make it better, use compassion. And then K, kick butt as the appointed councilman of the 6th ward. I believe you rock, and I believe that you're going to rock out as the councilman of the second ward. Great choice. I am sure the community will be very proud of you. Anything you need from me, I am here. I'm always open. I'm willing to work together with anyone. As you know, we've done it so many times before. And make sure you rock. Remember those acronyms, because you're going to need them each and every day as your councilman for the great city of Paterson. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Channel 52, for having me once again. I always tell people all the time, you can be invited one time, but to be invited back, that means that you didn't talk too long, and that means you did something right. So thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
I guess I'll go before the councilman and everything. It's been a great show. I also want to take this a minute real quick just to make sure, again, to congratulate Councilwoman at large on her new appointment, as well, I should say, as Council Vice President. Councilwoman Mims goes above and beyond. She's on the phone 24/7. I had some issues. I reminded her about some lights over the bridge by North Main, by Bunker Hill. I called her at midnight, 1, 2 a.m. She answered, and she got it done. I mean, within hours. So it's a great thing. Congratulations to you, Councilwoman, for becoming also Vice President, and you're also going to be another great asset to the rest of your team as well. And Councilman Chowdhury, in the Bengali community, you guys are big, getting bigger. Every day, more people are becoming citizens. More voters are coming from the Bengali community, starting from Queens, New York, coming to Paterson. I think second ward and first ward might be running out of room sometimes because Prospect Park every other week, 5 out of 10 homes that are selling are more Bengalis that are coming in. They're inviting us that, they have moved into Prospect Park. Eldon is getting Bengali community. So the population is there. So putting the politics to the side, like you said before, everyone's entitled to their opinion. My only recommendation, suggestion to the Bengali community is, hey, we can all have our differences. Can we kindly, please, just meet in the middle and move forward? And the reason why I say that is our kids, our family are looking at us. So when we're not here no more in this legacy, they're going to be the next legacy. Remember, life is short. We only live once. I was hospitalized. At the same time I was hospitalized, Congressman Bill Pasquale was hospitalized. We didn't know he was going to make it. They did open bypass surgery at the same day I was in the hospital. Remember, life is short. You guys are bigger and better together. Also, Councilman Chowdhury, I know you're going to think just like me, and Councilwoman Mims, and Mayor Sai and Deputy Firdaus. We're not only there for the Bengali community. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican. Doesn't matter you're a Democrat. Doesn't matter you're independent. Doesn't matter. If you live in our ward, you live in our city, you will get treated equally and you will get the same service, whether you're Bengali, African-American, Muslim, doesn't matter what religion or race you are. Councilman Chowdhury and the rest of the council, like you've been doing, there will not be no favoritism. I know you're going to be there serving the people, and I hope I can be an asset any way I can help and working along your side as well. So congratulations on your appointment. Deputy Mayor, also Firdaus Hussain, always picks up my calls at midnight whenever we have to get things done. You're always a phone call away. You invited me to your house, so I appreciate it as well, like you said, in Paterson. And Paterson is a great city for me. It's very dear to my friends and family. I do have family that live in Paterson as well, and friends. I love you guys. Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you. Commissioner Amber Hook, thank you for hosting the show. You're doing a great job as always. Give your family our regards. Channel 52, you guys are doing an awesome job day in and day out. And any way we can help and assist, we're always a phone call away. Keep up the great work, and may God bless each and every one of you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Councilman. Just keep in time. We're really over the time. I'm so sorry.
I'll be short and simple, especially since we're over time. So obviously, I just want to congratulate Gilman Chowdhury again for being appointed, as well as Councilwoman Lisa Mims as Vice President. So 2020, as you know, was a difficult year for everyone, especially with COVID-19. But things are getting better. Things are turning around. Let's just continue following state guidelines on how we should operate in terms of going out to eat and staying socially distant. We know things will get better. Let's just be patient and do our part. This is a time where we all could be heroes and fighting through the COVID-19 crisis. And now taking a step back and talking about the second ward. Not only the second ward is proud of Gilman, the whole city of Patterson, I think, is proud of Gilman because as him being involved with the school district, he has an opportunity to engage with children from all 6 wards. So he really doesn't represent only Bengalis. He represents Bengalis, brown, black, Hispanic, all different spectrum of the population that make up Patterson. So when we think about Gilman Chowdhury, he's representing all of us. And there's not be no favoritism. At the end of the day, any decision he makes, it has to be benefit to Patterson as well, not just one community. Just thinking, well, hey, was it going to benefit me or him the most? If we think that way, we're just going to go backwards. At the end of the day, he has to make a decision that represents Patterson and best for our children. So I know Gilman will do that. So I'm proud to call him my councilman. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And your last words, Mr. Gilman Chowdhury, please go ahead.
I mean, all I can say is that sometimes I feel like I'm witnessing the heroes of Troy coming together here. It's a great opportunity that I have. I acknowledge all those that came before me and all those that will come in the future after me. And the best thing I can say, and the only thing I can say, is that I pledge with my integrity and honor to do what I can for the second ward, what I can do for the city of Patterson. I'm not a person of lots of means. I'm not a person that has wide experience in everything, but I pledge to listen, I pledge to learn, I pledge to hear all sides, and I hope for the next couple months until my appointment's over and I transition peacefully to whoever wins, I'm able to serve the second ward to the best of my ability and give something to the city of Patterson, and that's what we can all hope for.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. And, as I said earlier, I see a soldier who takes a pledge to serve his country. And you guys all know that how I'm biased about, military. So, and again, as our mayor said, Eid is coming. We all have a responsibility in that, to all our viewers. I apologize because I was not taking anybody's comments to keep everyone timely. So we all have a role to play in that, and we're going to have a safe and happy, socially distanced Eid, but not mentally distant. And we're going to have the next show that the Imam of ICPC would be coming at 9 o'clock. And I wish all of you a very happy Sunday. And thank you, everyone, for joining me today, and for all the viewers for joining us. And together we can make Patterson better. And I'm going to say I see a beautiful ray of hope in you, Gilman. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Congratulations.